May profits be upon you. Let me move this microphone a little bit. Okay, there you go. All right, so how you doing? How you doing? All right, good, good, good. What we're gonna do is we're gonna look at pound Swiss. All right, the British pound, Swiss franc. First, we're gonna take a look at this RT money meter. All right, the RT money meter tracks the rate of change of each individual currency future over a 15-week period. I update every week so I can track it, track the weekly changes, and I rank them, right? So USD, that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at the pound. Look at the pound. Look at the pound. Last week it was at minus 358. This week it's at minus 417. All right. It's a marginal difference. All right. But don't be fooled by it going from ranking at number 8 to number 6. It actually got weaker. All right. So it is trending in the wrong direction. It's trending down. However, the Swiss franc was last week at, where is it? Minus 325, ranked number 1. All right. Marginal change to 305 this week. All right. Letting USD surging back into the number 1 spot, but it's still one of the stronger currencies. And you want to put the stronger ones with the weaker ones, right? So that's what I'm doing. Let's take a look at pound Swiss. This is one of my favorite ones going into next week. I'm going to be looking hard at this one. All right. If we look at the, let me make sure we don't miss any news here. All right. This is the week. No, we'll look at the news in a minute. I don't think we're missing much this week, because this week is kind of a muted kind of a week. There's some red folder items, but it's not going to be high impact. Just be careful when you're trading. All right. So on the weekly, what do we see? The obvious is that each candle represents a week, and we've been for weeks in a bearish trend. That's it. We just been dropping week after week after week. All right. Anybody needs any explanation to that? Okay. So we dropped into this area, this wick wick demand, right? And we penetrated pretty deeply into it. I think we're going further to the downside. All right. Here is let's go to the daily. All right. And on the daily, we can see, I just want you to see how this zone was constructed, right? You can see that this is the extreme of this daily demand here. This is the extreme of it, but I have it clocked in here. What can we expect from this? When price comes into contact with this, I'm looking for price to pull up. I'm looking for price to have some kind of reaction. So we come back on over here and we'll take a closer look at the price action, okay? And what we can see is price moved bearishly, all right, and stayed at this level, pulling back, and stayed in an accumulative sequence here, all right, where price is moving sideways, but it's accumulating orders, all right? And you're looking for accumulation, manipulation, and then followed by distribution, right? So we have the accumulation, all right? And I'm looking for price to spike up in one end or the other. And we spiked bullishly, all right? In this scenario, a bearish trend, this is reasonable to expect, all right? And then that's the manipulation, and here comes the distribution, okay? So with this area here as the breakout, the breakout area, all right, you got to expect, after price has spent some time at that level, you got to expect that price may come back to retest that breakout level. And it did exactly that. Okay. And this would have been a great area to take your short from if you were watching this pair. Now, what I want you to do is see this impulse. This is the correction. And then we broke the low of that correction. There's a lot of bearish momentum to the downside, and we are in a zone of demand already. This is a weekly zone, and we refined it to the daily zone. This is the extreme of the weekly zone. All right, the daily is marking the extreme of this larger weekly demand zone. All right, let's go to the 4-hour where we can get down to business and make our money, right? All right, before price took that that long impulse to the downside, it did sweep liquidity. All right, so you can see how price comes down, makes that correction, and then we break the low of that correction. That's what I like to see. All right, whatever. In the same way we saw it on the higher time frame on the daily, where price came back and retested the that breakout zone. All right, can we see the same here on a lower scale? All right, price comes down, makes this pullback here, the correction, and then we break. All right, spend some time here. We swept the highs, and then we made our way down. What we need to know now is price going to continue down further? I think so. All right, because we have a lot of momentum coming down, a lot of bearish momentum, a lot of selling pressure. All right, and whenever price breaks structure like here, all right, you expect price to pull back. You expect a return to impulse. But I want you to take a closer look here because I think we have a setup. All right, the setup is here. This is a zone of demand. It's a good zone because it swept liquidity here, sweeping this low here. Let me get a pin. All right, it took the swept liquidity to make it. Boom, right? And then took out this liquidity on the way up, took out this liquidity on the way up. I like this zone. I think it's valid. All right. You want to see it break some kind of microstructure or break high or take highs out, after sweeping. All right. Now, price comes back down and we have a reaction to it. This is the telltale sign that there's a potential for a flip scenario. All right. So as price, let me move this over. How did that get there? Get out of here. All right. So price gives us this reaction, and then we flush through. All right. We actually close just below that low. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. So immediately, as soon as it does that, I'm up here. I'm scouting out my my supply that is responsible for breaking this demand zone, and I'm waiting for a price to come back up there and give me a high probability trade to the downside. That's what I want. That's what I want for Christmas. Am I asking too much? All right, now I want you to also I want you to be careful of some things. One, all right, I like that scenario. All right, I'm looking at that scenario first and foremost because that's it's going to happen or not happen first. Okay, make notes. There we go. I was looking for my pen. All right, see this here? That's the EQ of this trading range from the swing high to the swing low. If this is going to establish the swing low, if price keeps coming up from here, then we can say the swing low has been established. All right. So with that in mind, this area is at the midpoint, the 50%. If you use your Fibonacci retracement tool from swing high to swing low, this will be the 50%. And I look for shorts in the premium price area, which is above 50%, not in the discount area, which is below 50%. Got it? Okay. So I'm looking for price to come up there. Look for the confirmation on the 15-minute time frame. This is what I'm looking for. And then take it on downtown. That's what I'm looking for. Now, price could use this. Price could come up and take this out. Why? Because this looks like inducement to get to the higher zone up here. All right. I'm not in love with this particular zone, the way it's constructed, because I would have preferred if there was a sweep of some kind. All right. And you know, that there, you know, because there's relative equal highs up here, price could go on up here and go and look for buy side liquidity. I'm not so sure that's going to happen, because that would require the Swiss franc to really become weak, and the pound just gaining strength out of nowhere. And they got policy issues going on right now, insofar as they don't want to be aggressive with rate hikes to fend off inflation, and they are staring down at a recession that probably is going to start, projected to start in Q4. So I don't think that scenario, you know, it coming all the way up here, I don't think there's a high probability for that scenario. I think this scenario has some high probability. This one's secondarily, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? All right, it may come up and fill that imbalance, and then I would look for a 15-minute confirmation up here once price comes into contact with this with my POI up here. Okay, but this is where I'm looking first. Okay, 15-minute confirmation. As soon as price comes up here, I have my an alert already set for this one, and we'll see what happens come market open. All right. Oh, and by the way, this would be my target. All right, this would be my target, and the target is at, let me see. Nope, wrong one. How do I get it? There you go. 1.12429. Got it? That would be my target. All right, that's maybe 150 pips from here. All right, and add 50 more from here if it goes up here. This will give us a better price, but we need the confirmation, right? We need the confirmation that price wants to go lower. We'll look for that on the 15-minute once price comes into contact with these two POIs. If you enjoyed what you watched, if you think you benefited, smash that like button for me. Do subscribe to my channel. All right, and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of any updates. I always send the updates. All right, and I want to hear from you. Feedback. Leave me some comments. All right, is pound Swiss a pair that you normally trade? All right, do you just stick to one pair? I normally trade one pair. I do a lot of analysis because I get a lot of requests. All right, but I like to trade one or two pairs, you know, but that's neither here nor there. If I see a proper setup, I will take it. You understand? If this one sets up nice, and like I said, I got this one as one of my favorites going into next week, because I think there's a high probability that this will happen. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hey, do check out the video I leave on your screen right now. All right, it's on your screen to the left. All right, that's the last video I just did before this one. All right, I'll see you later.